Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal Part 326 based on novel. So let's start. An undercurrent was moving within the Cloud Sea, and it had been caused by the God sect. It was interfering with a series of people. Li Qianmai was trapped by her sect and wasn't allowed to go anywhere for 3 months. Her teacher had come out of his perpetual closed-door cultivation to stop their most important disciple. He had his own difficulties. He had to do this for Li Qianmai's safety. Mu Bingmai was confused about all of this, but she vaguely felt like something was wrong. She went to the God sect with Wang Shanshan but didn't see Wang Shanshan's teacher, who was the person with the highest power in the God sect. The head elder, Daoist Water. The moment she entered the God sect, she was placed into a closed-door cultivation room. The God sect would provide all pills, but she wasn't allowed to step out. If she knew that the rank 8 sect competition had been cancelled, with her intelligence, she would have become suspicious. Even if she couldn't find the real cause, she would have seen some clues. However, right now Mu Bingmai didn't know any of this. Even Li Qianmai didn't know that the rank 8 sect competition had been cancelled by the God sect. The undercurrent diffused across the Cloud Sea. On the continent of Mo Luo, all the Origin sect disciples were hastily packing up under Lu Yanfei's order. It had taken 3 days to clean everything up. They were now ready to leave this rank 5 region they had spent countless years living in and move to the new Origin sect prepared by the Everlasting sect in the rank 7 region. Wang Lin was sitting inside a secret room in the Origin sect. His mind was fused with the All-Seer's soul inside the celestial sealing stamp. At this moment, he seemed to become the All-Seer. Everything in the world seemed to be under his control, but that was only on the surface. After fusing with the All-Seer's soul, Wang Lin sat down and his hands formed a seal. His mind spread into the sky and he began merging with the heavens. He took a day to finally reach a point where he was the heavens and the heavens were him. Under this fused state, Wang Lin's origin soul seemed to leave his body and merge with the world. This allowed his and the All-Seer's souls to reach an unprecedented level of fusion. Inseparable. If he was just using the All-Seer's attack spell, Wang Lin wouldn't have to merge with it so deeply. However, he wasn't attacking, but relying on the All-Seer's soul to predict the future to find the root of what was causing him to feel so terrified. However, this kind of prediction was too difficult for Wang Lin. He was, after all, not the All-Seer, and was only using a small part of the All-Seer's original ability within his soul to predict the future by force. At this moment, in his mind, his eyes were covered by boundless fog, making him unable to see anything at all. It was as if there was a force shrouding the world, not allowing him to see the root cause. However, Wang Lin didn't give up, and all his origin energy moved, causing him to fuse even more with the All-Seer. As their integration became deeper, he seemed to forget some things. He forgot that he was cultivating and that he was at the Origin sect in the Cloud Sea. At this moment, he forgot all of this. The fog that covered the world began to rapidly rotate, and a thunderous rumble echoed in his mind. It was as if a pair of giant, invisible hands were moving this fog, causing a vortex to appear. The moment the vortex appeared, a thunderous rumble only he could hear descended and landed on the vortex. At this instant, the vortex collapsed and rapidly scattered. The moment the vortex scattered, Wang Lin saw the scene hidden by the fog. Inside the picture, there was a pair of eyes, and the eyes exuded a merciless, cold gaze. This pair of eyes was looking indifferently at a person looking up at the sky. The moment he saw the picture, his mind trembled as if hundreds of thousands of thunderclaps had exploded in his mind. His mind nearly collapsed and the vortex split apart by the thunder rapidly reformed and hid the picture once more. Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes, and his face instantly turned pale. That earth was the continent of Mo Luo. The cultivator who was looked up at the sky was me. The owner of the eyes has heaven-shaking cultivation. Before him, I'll without a doubt die. Wang Lin looked up at the sky. His gaze seemed to be able to penetrate through the chamber and land on the sky above Mo Luo. Right now the sky was clear and sunny. Fusing with the All-Seer's soul to see the future is my limit, but I'm unwilling to let this be. I want to see it again. While pondering, Wang Lin let out a cold snort, then his right hand formed a seal and pointed to between his eyebrows. He opened his mouth to spit out a ghostly light that turned into the celestial sealing stamp before him. The celestial sealing stamp rapidly rotated. The wails that came out of it could shock the mind of anyone. Wang Lin's hands formed a seal, and he placed a seal on the celestial sealing stamp. It immediately trembled and began to shine. It lit up the dark room completely. Inside the ghostly light, the All-Seer's soul stepped out and stood before Wang Lin. Magic arsenal, soul return, heaven and earth are boundless, accommodate heaven's tribute. Wang Lin rarely recited the full chant when using spells. However, the spell he was trying to use was very powerful. It was a profound Tao intent within magic arsenal. The moment he said the chant, the All-Seer's soul's eyes shined brightly and he walked forward. He went through Wang Lin and seemed to overlap with Wang Lin. At this moment, the All-Seer's soul turned around, facing the same direction as Wang Lin, and sat down. It looked like the All-Seer's soul had become Wang Lin's origin soul. At this moment, his origin soul seemed have become integrated with Wang Lin. This was no longer the fusion where Wang Lin's mind entered the celestial sealing stamp. This was a complete integration. The moment the All-Seer's soul sat down and they overlapped, it was already impossible to tell them apart. His body seemed to change drastically. It sometimes became the All-Seer and sometimes became himself. At this moment, Wang Lin's eyes closed and his mind trembled. The boundless fog appeared again, and this time it was even stronger. There was also a vortex rapidly rotating, and as Wang Lin roared, the vortex collapsed and the fog scattered once more. It revealed a picture inside. This picture wasn't static, but moving. Inside the picture, Wang Lin coughed out blood on the continent of Mo Luo. His body immediately collapsed, and the moment his origin soul flew out, it dissipated. The picture changed once more. This time Wang Lin's face was pale as he fled through space. He didn't get far when a mirror appeared before him, and that pair of ruthless eyes was in it. With one gaze, Wang Lin's body collapsed and his origin soul died. The picture changed again. This time it was more complete. What appeared was Wang Lin inside the chamber. He looked up and didn't hesitate to leave. He paid no attention to the sect that was still packing and flew off into space. The picture didn't show the passage of time. An unknown amount of time passed, and as Wang Lin escaped, a pair of eyes seemed to pierce through the star fog, landing on his body. The picture moved again. This time Wang Lin had turned into an ancient god, and he was roaring at the sky. In the sky was an old man wearing a Daoist robe. The old man raised his hand and pointed down. Inside the picture, Wang Lin's body lost all ability to move. The old man closed in and pressed the spot between Wang Lin's eyebrows. He died once more. Pictures continued to appear, and it was different each time. It was unexpectedly Wang Lin thinking of all kinds of ways to struggle and escape. But in the end, he died. Died. Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes and stared ahead. Cold sweat flowed down his forehead and his body. In a short period of time, his body was soaked by sweat. Dead. Thanks to the All-Seer's spell, I saw through thousands of possible futures, but I survived in none of them. No matter what, I'll die. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with madness, but even more so, a sense of unwillingness. He was sure that Li Qianmei's departure was related to him. Mu Bingmei's departure was related to him. The rank 8 sect competition being stopped was related to him. There was an extremely powerful third step cultivator that wanted to kill him. This was not the same as the seven-colored realm, where the third step cultivator had used power across space to make one palm. This was a third step cultivator coming in their original body to take his life. I, Wang Lin, have been a heaven-defying cultivator all my life, and I have encountered countless life and death crises. No matter how big the crisis, I'll have to face it. I don't believe I can't find a way to break this death trap. If there is no way out, so what if I die? There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes as his hand reached out. His storage space opened and a number of fake heaven-defying beads flew out. He looked over the beads and then picked one up. 7-colored light shined from his eyes, and as it shrouded his body, it entered the bead. The bead absorbed the seven-colored light and then suddenly collapsed into a seven-colored vortex that floated before Wang Lin. Staring at the seven-colored vortex, Wang Lin clenched his teeth and inhaled it into his mouth. His mind suddenly rumbled. Summon the Defying Ones, World Prediction spell. Wang Lin's voice was filled with killing intent. He used his body as the heavens and earth to summon the spell of the Defying Ones to find that sliver of chance for survival. The moment his words echoed, Wang Lin's mind trembled and a powerful aura burst within his body. It rushed into his mind and fell on the picture. It tore apart all fog and allowed that last picture to appear. There was one person in that picture. This old man is Liu Jinbiao, Dao name, Master Jin Biao. Just as Wang Lin was calculating the future with the Defying One's spell, the disciples of the Origin sect had already finished packing everything. They were waiting for Wang Lin in the main square. Originally, they were talking. There was confusion and excitement in their words. They already knew that the Origin sect wasn't going to be disbanded and was going to be moved to the rank 7 sect. However, just at this moment, the clear sky darkened and a shocking wail arrived. A ray of golden light closed in on the Origin sect. In an instant, this golden light arrived, and there was a jade inside the light. After the jade arrived, it floated above the Origin sect square. This sudden change caused an uproar among the disciples. Even Lu Yanfei and company's expressions changed because the aura from it was something only Nirvana Shatterer old monsters could release. It wasn't just any ordinary Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, but one at the peak of the Nirvana Shatterer stage. Just a jade was able to produce such a heaven-shaking effect. The sky changed colors, the clouds churned, and there were even faint signs of law. This old man is Liu Jinbiao, Dao name, Master Jin Biao. The majestic voice came from the jade and shrouded the entire Origin sect. Even the continent of Mo Luo trembled under this voice. Lu Yanfei had seen a lot in the rank 8 everlasting sect and therefore wasn't just an ordinary Nirvana Scryer cultivator. Her eyes lit up and she clasped her hands. I don't know why Senior Jin Biao came to my Origin sect. Disaster is upon you and you don't even know it yourself, so I'll tell you. 3 days ago, someone found this old man. They wanted to buy the life of your entire Origin sect. The voice was filled with an inexplicable pressure. As the voice echoed, it was as if thunder was echoing, and it turned into law that merged with the world. All of this turned into pressure that weighed down the minds of the Origin sect disciples. Lu Yanfei's expression immediately changed. However, this old man has no feud with your Origin sect. Although I need Origin crystals to refine pills, I would rather not do something like this. However, if I have no other choice, I can only take the lives of your entire Origin sect. Lu Yanfei's eyes became cold as she sneered, but the other Origin sect disciples were filled with fear. All of you have already packed, ready to be disbanded. Forget it, the everlasting sect's sect master once saved his old man and I owe him one. If you all satisfy me, this old man will send out a letter and prevent your Origin sect from being disbanded. This old man doesn't wish to kill your entire Origin sect. If you can take out enough Origin crystals or something equivalent, I'll put this matter to rest. The ancient voice gave off an undeniable aura along with the intent of threat. Due to the Nirvana Shatterer aura, this threat could shock the mind of those who heard it. Lu Yanfei pondered, but her expression became even more cold. Just at this moment, inside the chamber, Wang Lin opened his eyes and looked at the wall as if his gaze could pierce through it. Liu Jinbiao. Wang Lin's face became cold as he stood up and separated from the All-Seer's soul. He swallowed the celestial sealing stamp and left the chamber. He appeared in the sky above the square in the Origin sect. This old man's time is limited. I will only give you 15 minutes to consider. After 15 minutes, the peak Nirvana Shatterer aura spread out like crazy, but he didn't notice that Wang Lin was staring at it with a cold gaze, and his divine sense spread out. Wang Lin fused all his cultivation with his divine sense and swept it across Mo Luo. Using the aura from the jade, his divine sense quickly gathered in a mortal capital city in the southern part of the continent. This capital was bustling and the streets were filled with people. In the southern part of the city, there was an inn, and at this moment, inside a closed room, there was an old man sitting there. He gave off the air of a celestial, had white hair, and wore a white robe. His eyes were closed and there was a jade floating before him. This jade was crystal clear and seemed to contain the world, but, strangely, it gave off no aura. Even while looking at it closely, you wouldn't feel anything strange about it. Only when you looked at it with your eyes would you feel that shocking feeling. After 15 minutes, if you don't send over the origin crystals, everyone in your origin sect will be instantly annihilated. The old man sat there as if he was speaking to himself. Those words were absorbed by the jade and sent to the origin sect tens of thousands of kilometers away. However, this old man knows that your origin sect doesn't have anything valuable. Forget it, all of you just take out all your bags and the things in your storage spaces and this old man will pretend none of this happened. Not only will this dispel your danger, I'll also send a letter to your everlasting sect master. This old man rarely shows this kind of compassion, so think about it carefully. As the old man spoke, he shook his head. He controlled the tone of his words very well and grasped it perfectly. After he finished speaking, he opened his eyes. His eyes shined and he revealed a smug sneer. He had already received information that the origin sect would likely be disbanded, so he had waited here. He had waited for the cultivators to return from the competition, and while they were all panicking, he could succeed in one go. However, due to the everlasting sect sealing all information, he didn't know about what had happened to the origin sect, nor of Wang Lin's existence. This has almost 100% chance of succeeding. This old man never does anything that could fail. It's a pity that this old man can't show up in person. That Lu Yanfei is known as the #1 beauty in the rank 5 region. Unfortunate. If this old man could taste a fairy, that would be wonderful. The old man sighed and looked at the jade. The pride in his eyes was even stronger. He raised his hand to reach for the jade. However, just at this moment, a cold voice echoed in the room. "You're Liu Jinbiao." This voice appeared too suddenly and frightened the old man enough that he almost jumped into the air. His face instantly paled as he turned to see a person standing in the corner of the room. This person had white hair, white robe, and his gaze was cold. When the old man met this person's gaze, his mind trembled and he immediately coughed out blood. The old man's eyes were filled with monstrous fear as he exclaimed, "Nirvana Shatterer, old monster." After he spoke, he rushed forward and went for the window to escape. Wang Lin coldly stared at the old man as he lifted his foot and took a step. A heaven-shaking pressure spread out, causing the old man to tremble and cough out blood once more. The old man was terrified as he screamed in terror, "Jade, protect me." The jade floating in the air shined and shot at the old man. It was fast, even Wang Lin only saw a blur before it arrived before the old man. It released a bright glow and took the old man. Then they smashed through the window and shot into the sky. The moment the old man escaped, Wang Lin's right hand pushed forward. Endless origin energy gathered from all directions toward the old man. However, just as it closed in on the old man, the light from the jade shined brightly and a thunderous rumble echoed. Wang Lin's attack that could kill Nirvana Shatterer cultivators unexpectedly collapsed. The old man wasn't injured at all, thanks to the protection of the jade, and charged off into the distance. Wang Lin's mind trembled as he stared at the escaping old man. He wasn't looking at the old man, but at that jade. This old man named Liu Jinbiao was what appeared in the last picture when Wang Lin was predicting his future. However, Wang Lin was puzzled because this old man's cultivation level was really too low. From the looks of it, he had just broken through the ascendant stage and reached the illusionary yin stage. Even if hundreds of him were put together, they wouldn't be able to resist Wang Lin's attack. However, the old man wasn't injured at all with the protection of the jade. This made Wang Lin's eyes shine. What kind of jade is this? Wang Lin chased after the old man like crazy. The old man was pale and blood was flowing down from the corner of his mouth. His eyes were filled with panic that had never appeared before. He had cheated people for many years, and due to the jade, he had never been found. He had also been very careful to not be found, but now someone had found him and was after him. Nirvana Shatterer, old monster. Just thinking about the other person's cultivation level, the old man became even more fearful. He only hated that he couldn't escape faster. Jade, Jade, I'll depend on you for this crisis. You have never disappointed me before. Today's life and death crisis will depend on you. You have to help me. Most of the origin crystals I cheated were absorbed by you. The old man's face was even paler, but his words seemed to have an effect. The jade shined once more and the old man's speed increased. However, when the old man had escaped tens of thousands of kilometers away, ripples appeared before him and Wang Lin walked out. He waved his right hand. Thunderous rumbles echoed, then a powerful storm appeared and collided with the jade. A thunderous rumble echoed as if the world was going to be torn apart. However, the light from the jade didn't seem damaged at all. It changed directions and continued to escape. I want to see where you're going to run. Wang Lin's voice was cold, and as he spoke, his hands formed seals. Large amounts of restrictions appeared and shot toward that jade. At this moment, the entire world was surrounded by the countless restrictions Wang Lin had scattered. It was like an expanded sphere that was rapidly condensing. The old man inside the jade revealed a hint of despair, but at this moment, a hiss came from the jade. Black mist came out of the jade and formed a giant centipede almost 1,000 feet large. This centipede was completely black and had a golden line on its back. It was extremely fierce. After it appeared, it suddenly spat a mouthful of poison at Wang Lin. This poison mist contained a powerful poison. When it touched the restrictions closing in, they suddenly collapsed. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He didn't stop at all and charged forward. He raised his right hand to point at the sky and shouted, "The thunder of the world, listen to my command." After he spoke, countless thunderbolts appeared in the sky above Mo Luo and replaced the world. All of them descended down toward the giant centipede. The centipede let out a hiss and showed signs of desperation. The moment the thunder closed in, a strange scene unfolded. More black mist came out of the jade and 6 more 1,000-foot centipedes appeared. A total of 7 centipedes hissed like crazy as they spat out poison mist that collided with the thunder. Thunderous rumbles echoed along with miserable roars. 3 of the 7 centipedes collapsed and turned into nothing. The remaining 4 centipedes quickly retreated. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he charged forward. He charged into the thunder and attacked with his right hand. There was a boom, and 2 of the remaining 4 centipedes collapsed. The last 2 centipedes quickly retreated while hissing. They were about to return to the jade. However, how could Wang Lin let them return? He waved his hand and 2 short swords flew out toward the 2 centipedes. Popping sounds echoed as the sword energy swept by and the 2 retreating centipedes collapsed. All 7 centipedes had died and Wang Lin's restrictions closed in. There were nothing blocking them now. They completely surrounded the jade, making it so it could no longer escape. All of Wang Lin's spells were enough to kill a mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. Although he had killed the 7 centipedes, the jade wasn't damaged at all. The more Wang Lin looked at the jade, the more extraordinary it seemed. It had to be some powerful magic treasure. When he searched for a path where he could live, the last thing he saw was Liu Jinbiao. He was now sure that his survival had to do with this jade. As the restrictions closed in, Wang Lin closed in toward the jade and his right hand reached toward it. However, at this moment, a fierce aura came from inside the jade. Black mist came out from the jade once more and a 10,000-foot centipede came out. Wang Lin was too close, and the centipede was right next to him. It opened its mouth to spit out poison mist and tried to devour Wang Lin. At the same time, Liu Jinbiao's expression became hideous and he roared, "Jade, devour him. He is a Nirvana Shatterer old monster, so he must have lot of treasures and origin crystals. Devour him. I don't want any, I will give it all to you." When the centipede was closing in, Wang Lin's expression didn't change at all. With his mental fortitude, how could he not be on guard against this strange jade? As the centipede closed in, Wang Lin opened his mouth and roared. Roar. This wasn't the roar of a cultivator, but the roar of an ancient god. The roar of an almost 6-star royal ancient god. This roar shook the heavens. It was as if a hole was going to be torn in the sky. The earth trembled and countless mountains collapsed in the distance. Rivers flowed in reverse and roared. The roar of an ancient god, adding on Wang Lin's cultivation, could directly shatter any Nirvana cleanser cultivator, destroy the body of an early-stage Nirvana shatterer cultivator, and damage the soul of any mid-stage Nirvana shatterer cultivator. It could cause a late-stage Nirvana shatterer cultivator lose all their senses. Even peak Nirvana shatterer cultivators would be injured at such close range, and their ears would buzz. The 10,000-foot centipede let out a miserable roar before it could even devour. It was as if a violent gust of wind had hit it, or a carriage that weighed 1,000,000 kilograms had smashed into it. With a thunderous bang, the centipede's body collapsed and completely disintegrated. The tragic hiss before its death still echoed in the world. After losing the centipede, the light from the jade dissipated, but a faint, gentle light surrounded the jade. It unexpectedly didn't mix with any of the world's light. It was as if it was something that didn't belong to this world. Wang Lin's right hand reached out and grabbed the jade. The moment he held the jade, there was a roar inside Wang Lin's mind. An indescribable force came out of the jade and rushed into his body. It swept through his origin soul, and the heaven-defying bead released a light that seemed to resonate with the jade. As this light resonated, the jade in Wang Lin's hand suddenly disappeared, entering his body. It appeared in his origin soul next to the heaven-defying bead. The heaven-defying bead sucked the jade in. At this instant, the heaven-defying bead suddenly collapsed and disappeared inside his origin soul as if it had never existed. But Wang Lin could clearly feel the existence of the heaven-defying bead. At this moment, he even felt like he had become the heaven-defying bead. This feeling was very vague, but Wang Lin didn't have time to think about it, because the moment it disappeared, his mind trembled. Memories that didn't belong to him appeared. Inside the memory, it was completely dark, and a jade was buried in the earth. After countless years, there was no change, until one day, the soil loosened and 8 small centipedes arrived next to it. As if the jade had granted them intelligence, they began to absorb the jade's aura. Time slowly passed and countless years went by. As the 8 centipedes absorbed from the jade, they began to emit the aura of cultivators. On a certain day, the 8 centipedes' bodies trembled and they died, but the origin souls they had cultivated entered the jade. They became treasure spirit-like beings. However, they were made by an external force and couldn't control the jade. They could only use 1/1000th of its power. Countless years passed. The earth trembled once more and the originally buried jade was exposed to the surface. An old man with a bruised face was fleeing in panic. There were faint sounds of cursing coming from behind the old man, shouting things like crook and cheater. While the old man was escaping, his injuries seemed to worsen, and he coughed out blood. The blood accidentally fell on the jade and it shined, allowing the escaping old man to notice it. The old man picked up the jade. After taking a look, he immediately fled. Wang Lin suddenly awakened. Although it seems this vision took long, it was only half a breath of time. However, outsiders wouldn't be able to see anything. Liu Jinbiao stared at Wang Lin and saw the jade disappear from Wang Lin's hand. He felt pain in his mind as his connection with the jade was cut off. However, compared to his life, this jade was considered nothing. Liu Jinbiao's eyes were filled with fear as he knelt down and began to howl. "Senior, forgive me. Senior, forgive me. Junior has never killed and only occasionally cheats and frightens other. At best, I have taken some possessions, but I've never killed anyone. My sin is not worth death. My sin is not worth death, Senior. Please let me go, Senior. Junior will never cheat again and will be a good person. I'll never cheat again." This Liu Jinbiao continued to kowtow. He was scared out of his wits of Wang Lin and began to plead. "This jade is too shocking. 8 ordinary centipede were able to cultivate to almost the Nirvana Shatterer stage. This Liu Jinbiao was able to do as he wished across the cloud sea. He has cheated countless people but was never seen through." Wang Lin took a deep breath. He didn't want to listen to Liu Jinbiao talk. He waved his sleeves and immediately put Liu Jinbiao into his storage space. This person's crime is indeed not worthy of death. He has cheated for many years, but that has nothing to do with me. However, he tried to cheat the origin sect, so he must be punished. Shu Ligua, you always complain you're lonely, so I give this person to you. Teach him a good lesson or two. Wang Lin's divine sense fell on Shu Ligua, who hadn't come out in a long time. Shu Ligua was depressed and had been cursing in his heart over the past hundreds of years. He missed the beauties, and he especially thought of the evil he had done in all heaven. He constantly yearned for it again. While feeling lonely, he suddenly heard Wang Lin's message and saw Liu Jinbiao fall into the storage space. His eyes filled with excitement, he almost roared in excitement. "Master, rest assured, haha, little Shu will definitely teach this guy a good lesson and let him know my strength." Shu Ligua excitedly rubbed his hands and revealed an evil smile. He slowly approached the old man called Liu Jinbiao. The fear in Liu Jinbiao's eyes became even stronger, causing Shu Ligua's eyes to shine. "Damn it, how long has your grandpa Shu been lonely for? How many years? Ah. Today, God finally noticed me and let you offend that fiend. Good job." Shu Ligua pounced at Liu Jinbiao while laughing. No matter how you listened, that laughter contained evil intent. This video will end here.